The lights on the bridge of the alien ship Harmony's Edge flickered red. Ambassador Zekthar looked at the screens with his 4 eyes wide open. Bad news was coming from all over the galaxy. The Kresh Empire had broken their peace promise. They were attacking innocent worlds with their big warships. Zekthar was tall and thin like a stick. His blue skin looked pale under the emergency lights. He had been working for the Galactic Council for 30 years. He had never seen anything this bad before. "Sir, we need help fast," said his young helper, Nixara. She was new to the job and very nervous. "The Kresh are destroying everything. 3 whole planets are under attack." Zekthar walked around the bridge. His long fingers touched the control panels. "We must ask the warrior races for help. Send messages to the Corvin fighters and the Threx battle clans." Nixara nodded and started working on her computer. She had to send help requests to many different alien races. Her job was to look up each race in the big database and send the right message. But Nixara made a big mistake. When she looked up humans in the computer, she saw the wrong information. The database said humans were peaceful farm workers who grew food and never fought wars. This was completely wrong, but Nixara did not know that. She sent a simple message to Earth. It asked for help with farming advice during a small fight between neighbors. The message went through 5 different alien languages before it reached Earth. Each time it was translated, it became more confusing. On Earth, Admiral Jake Collins sat in his office at Space Command. He was a big man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had been waiting his whole life for aliens to contact Earth. When the message came, he was so excited he almost fell out of his chair. Jake read the message 3 times. It seemed like aliens needed help with farming. There was some kind of small problem between alien neighbors. This looked like Earth's big chance to make friends in space. "This is it," Jake said to himself. "Our first contact with alien friends." He called Dr. Ben Taylor right away. Ben was Earth's best farming expert. He knew everything about growing food in hard places. "Ben, pack your bags," Jake said on the phone. "You're going to space to help some aliens with their crops." Ben was confused but excited. "Are you serious, Jake? Real aliens need farming help?" "That's what their message says. You'll take a small team and help them out. This could change everything for Earth." But Jake made his own mistake. He was so excited that he filled out the wrong forms. Instead of marking this as a civilian science mission, he marked it as a first contact diplomatic mission. This small mistake started a chain reaction. The message went to Captain Lisa Carter next. She commanded the exploration ship New Horizon. Lisa was smart and careful. She read her orders twice before she understood them. "Escort agricultural team to alien space for first contact mission," the order said. Lisa scratched her head. This sounded much bigger than simple farming help. Lisa called her friend Commander Pete Johnson. Pete was in charge of a whole battle group. He knew all the rules about space missions. "Pete, I got weird orders," Lisa said. "I'm supposed to take farmers to meet aliens, but the paperwork says this is a diplomatic mission." Pete looked at his computer. The mission was coded as First Contact, Humanitarian Crisis. This was serious business. "Lisa, if this is first contact with aliens, we need to follow the big book of rules," Pete said. "Let me check what we're supposed to do." Pete opened the thick book of space military rules. It said that any first contact mission needed protection. Any humanitarian crisis needed medical support. Any diplomatic mission needed proper representatives from Earth's government. "This is bigger than we thought," Pete told Lisa. "We need to do this right." The news spread through Earth's space forces like fire. Everyone wanted to be part of humanity's first meeting with aliens. The farming mission grew bigger and bigger. Dr. Ben Taylor packed his farming equipment. He brought seeds, soil testers, and books about growing food. His team was just 4 people with some bags of tools, but around them Earth's military was getting ready for something much bigger. Ships were being loaded with supplies. Soldiers were getting their gear ready. Medical teams were packing hospital equipment. Jake Collins watched from his office as more and more ships joined the mission. What started as a simple farming trip was becoming the biggest space mission in Earth's history. "Maybe this is good," Jake thought. "We want to make a good First impression on our new alien friends. He did not know that somewhere in space the Kresh Empire was burning entire worlds. He did not know that the aliens were asking for help in a desperate war. He thought they just needed advice about growing better vegetables. Captain Lisa Carter stood on the bridge of her ship. Through the big windows she could see dozens of other Earth ships getting ready to leave. Destroyers, cruisers, supply ships, and medical vessels filled the space around Earth. "Sir," her communication officer said, "Admiral Collins wants to talk to you." Jake's face appeared on the screen. He looked happy and nervous at the same time. "Lisa, this mission is very important," Jake said. "We're representing all of humanity. Make sure everything goes perfectly." "Yes, sir," Lisa replied. "But sir, do we really need this many ships to help with farming?" Jake smiled. "Better to be safe than sorry. Our new alien friends will see that Earth takes friendship seriously." The fleet prepared to leave Earth's solar system. Dr. Ben Taylor sat in his small cabin, reading books about alien soil types that he had never seen. He had no idea that he was about to become part of the biggest space battle in galactic history. The message that started it all was still traveling through space, being translated and mistranslated by different alien computers. By the time it reached its final destination, it would barely make sense at all, but the damage was done. Earth's biggest military fleet was heading toward a war zone, thinking they were going to give farming advice to peaceful neighbors. 2 days after the alien message arrived, Earth was going crazy. Admiral Jake Collins sat in his office, staring at reports from every department in the military. What started as a simple farming mission was growing like a monster. "Sir, we have a problem," said his assistant, Colonel Tony Martinez. Tony was a short man who always worried about everything. "Every department wants to join this mission." Jake rubbed his tired eyes. He had not slept much in 2 days. "What do you mean, Tony?" "The Agriculture Department says their people need protection in alien space. The Medical Corps wants to send doctors in case someone gets sick. The Engineering Department wants to test new ship designs. The Marine Corps says we need soldiers for security." Jake looked at the list Tony gave him. It was 3 pages long. Every government office on Earth wanted to be part of humanity's first contact with aliens. "This is getting out of hand," Jake said. But then he thought about it more. "Actually, maybe this is good. We want to show these aliens that Earth is strong and ready to help." Meanwhile, Commander Pete Johnson was reading his new orders at the space dock. Pete was a careful man who always followed the rules exactly. His orders said, "Deploy humanitarian relief force with full military escort to assist in first contact agricultural consultation." Pete scratched his head. Humanitarian relief force sounded like people were dying somewhere. Full military escort meant big warships. But agricultural consultation meant helping with farming. Nothing made sense. "Computer, show me the rule book for first contact missions," Pete said. The computer screen lit up with hundreds of pages of rules. Pete read them carefully. According to the book, any first contact mission needed proper protection. Any humanitarian crisis needed medical support and emergency supplies. Any agricultural consultation needed scientific equipment and environmental experts. "Well, if the rules say so," Pete said to himself. He started making phone calls. Within hours, Pete had ordered 12 destroyers, 6 heavy cruisers, and 2 aircraft carriers to join the mission. The rulebook said this was the minimum needed for a potentially dangerous first contact situation. Captain Amy White got the surprise of her life when she received her orders. Amy commanded the biggest warship in Earth's fleet, a massive dreadnought called Freedom's Call. Her ship was built to fight wars, not to help with farming. "Captain, your orders just came in," said her communication officer. Amy read the orders twice. She was supposed to lead a battle group to help aliens with agriculture. Her battle group included some of the most powerful warships ever built by humans. "This doesn't make sense," Amy said. "Why do we need dreadnoughts to help with farming?" But orders were orders. Amy started preparing her ship for the strangest mission of her career. At the Space Marine base, Colonel Mary Brown was having her own problems. Mary was tough as nails and had fought in every major conflict for the past 20 years. Her orders said she needed to bring soldiers to protect the agricultural team. "How many soldiers do we need to protect 4 farmers?" asked her sergeant, Bill Davis. Mary looked at her rulebook. It said any mission to potentially hostile alien territory needed a full division for security. A full division meant 50,000 soldiers with tanks, helicopters, and enough supplies for 6 months. "The rulebook says 50,000, Mary told Bill. Bill's mouth fell open. 50,000 soldiers to protect 4 farmers? "Rules are rules," Mary said. "Start loading the transport ships." Back on Earth, Dr. Ben Taylor was getting very confused. He had packed his small bag with farming tools and some books about plants. Now people were telling him he needed bodyguards, doctors, scientists, and a small army to go with him. "I just want to help aliens grow better vegetables," Ben told Jake Collins on the phone. "Ben, this is bigger than farming now," Jake said. "This is about representing all of humanity. We need to do this right." Ben looked out his window. He could see dozens of military ships in the sky, all getting ready to escort him to alien space. "This seems like too much for a farming consultation." "Better safe than sorry," Jake replied. The mission kept growing. The Environmental Protection Agency wanted to send scientists to study alien planets. The Language Department wanted to send translators to talk to aliens. The Trade Department wanted to send business people to make deals. The Space Exploration Agency wanted to send researchers to study alien technology. Each department brought their own ships, supplies, and people. The small farming mission was becoming the biggest space expedition in human history. Captain Lisa Carter watched from her ship as more vessels joined the fleet every hour. Supply ships brought food and fuel. Medical ships brought hospitals and doctors. Transport ships brought thousands of soldiers and scientists. "Captain, we now have over 200 ships ready to go," her navigation officer reported. Lisa could not believe it. 200 ships to help with farming? "Apparently so, Captain." The fleet filled the space around Earth like a metal cloud. News reporters were calling it the Great Agricultural Expedition. Politicians were making speeches about humanity's bright future with alien friends. None of them knew what was really waiting for them in space. The aliens who sent the message were not peaceful farmers having a small argument with neighbors. They were desperate survivors watching their worlds burn under attack from a savage empire. Jake Collins stood in the command center, looking at screens showing all the ships. He felt proud and worried at the same time. "Sir, the fleet is ready to depart," reported his aide. "Good," Jake said. "Let's go make some alien friends." If Jake had known what they were really flying into, he might have sent even more ships. 3 weeks later, the huge human fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kalar system. What they saw made everyone's blood run cold. This was not a peaceful place where aliens needed farming help. This was hell. Admiral Jake Collins stood on the bridge of his flagship Liberty, staring at the main screen with his mouth open. Burning space stations floated in the darkness like giant torches. Pieces of destroyed ships drifted everywhere. And moving through the destruction like sharks were massive black warships with red markings. "My God," Jake whispered. "What have we walked into?" Captain Lisa Carter was on her bridge watching the same horrible scene. Her navigation officer was checking the coordinates 3 times to make sure they were in the right place. "Captain, we're definitely in the Kalar system," he said, "but this looks like a war zone." "That's because it is a war zone," Lisa replied quietly. The black warships belonged to the Kresh Empire. The Kresh were 7 feet tall, with thick armor-like skin and sharp teeth. They loved fighting and destroying things. For them, war was not just business. It was fun. Commander Vorthak led the Kresh attack fleet from his flagship Death's Hammer. He was the biggest and meanest Kresh warrior in the Empire. He had destroyed 47 worlds and never lost a battle. "Sir, new ships have arrived," his officer reported. "Unknown design. They look weak." Vorthak looked at the human fleet on his screen. The ships looked strange to him. They were smaller than Kresh warships and had weird designs. He thought they were probably another weak race coming to surrender. "How many ships?" Vorthak asked. "Over 200, sir." Vorthak laughed. His laugh sounded like rocks grinding together. 200 weak ships against my 50 battlecruisers? This will be fun. Ignore them for now. Let them watch us finish destroying this system. Then we will deal with them. The human fleet spread out as they tried to understand what was happening. Dr. Ben Taylor sat in his small cabin, still holding his bag of farming seeds. Through his window, he could see the burning remains of what used to be a beautiful space city. This is not a farming consultation, he said to himself. On the bridge of Freedom's Call, Captain Amy White was talking to her weapons officer. Amy was a smart woman who had studied every type of space battle in history. She knew a massacre when she saw one. "How many Kresh ships do you count?" she asked. 50 large warships, Captain. Each one is bigger than our heavy cruisers. Amy nodded, grimly. The human fleet had more ships, but the Kresh ships were built only for war. Human ships were built for many different jobs. In the asteroid belt, a damaged alien ship was hiding from the Kresh. Captain Zara Kane commanded what was left of the Galactic Council ship Peaceful Dawn. Her ship was full of holes and barely working. Zara was from a race called the Altani. They looked like tall, thin humans with blue skin and large eyes. They were peaceful people who hated violence. "Captain, sensors show a large fleet has arrived," her science officer said. "The computer says they are humans?" Zara looked at her database. It said humans were peaceful farmers who grew food and never fought wars. But the ships on her screen looked like they were built for fighting. "The database must be wrong," Zara said. "Those ships have weapons. Lots of weapons." She decided to send a message to the human fleet. Maybe they could help save the few survivors hiding in the asteroids. "Human ships, this is Captain Zara Kane of the Galactic Council. We need immediate assistance. The Kresh Empire is committing genocide. Please help us." The message reached Admiral Jake Collins on his flagship. Jake finally understood the terrible truth. The aliens had not asked for farming help. They had asked for military help against an empire that was destroying entire worlds. "Sir, what are your orders?" asked his communication officer. Jake looked at the burning space stations on his screen. He thought about the 4 farmers he had brought to help with agriculture. He thought about the 50,000 soldiers he had brought just in case. He thought about the most powerful fleet Earth had ever sent into space. "Get me Captain Kane," Jake said. Zara's face appeared on the screen. She looked scared and desperate. Behind her, Jake could see the damaged interior of her ship. "Captain Kane, this is Admiral Collins of the Earth Fleet. We received your message asking for agricultural consultation." Zara looked confused. "Agricultural consultation? We asked for military aid against the Kresh Empire. They have been destroying our worlds for weeks." Jake closed his eyes. The translation error was now clear, but it was too late to turn back. "Captain Kane, we may have misunderstood your original message, but we're here now. Tell me about these Kresh." "They are the most savage race in the galaxy," Zara said. "They destroy everything they touch. They have never been defeated in battle. Our weapons cannot hurt their ships." On the Kresh flagship, Commander Vorthak was getting bored watching space stations burn. He decided it was time to deal with the new arrivals. "Signal the unknown fleet," he ordered. "Tell them to surrender or be destroyed." The Kresh message reached the human fleet. It was short and simple. "Weak races, surrender now or we will crush you like insects." Admiral Jake Collins read the message twice. He had come here to help with farming. Instead, he found himself facing the most dangerous enemy in the galaxy. His fleet was full of scientists, doctors, farmers, and supply ships. Only some of his ships were real warships. But Jake remembered something his grandfather had told him long ago. "When someone threatens your friends, you don't run away. You stand and fight." Jake opened a channel to all ships in his fleet. "All ships, this is Admiral Collins. We came here to help friends. Instead, we found them being murdered by bullies. I know we didn't plan for this. I know some of you are scientists and doctors, not soldiers, but right now innocent people are dying, and we're the only ones who can help them." He paused and looked at the Kresh fleet on his screen. "All combat ships, prepare for battle. All non-combat ships, stay back and be ready to help survivors. We're going to show these Kresh what happens when they mess with humanity's friends." The Kresh had made one big mistake. They thought humans were weak farmers. They were about to learn that humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The battle started when Commander Vorthak got tired of waiting. He had destroyed 47 worlds and never met anyone who could fight back. These new aliens looked weak and small. He decided to crush them quickly. All ships, attack the unknown. Fleet, Vorthak ordered. Show them the power of the Kresh Empire. The Kresh warships moved forward in perfect lines, just like they always did. Their black ships were huge and covered with weapons. Each ship was twice the size of human destroyers. But Admiral Jake Collins was not worried about size. He had studied every space battle in human history. Humans had learned to fight wars against other humans for thousands of years. They knew things about fighting that no other species in the galaxy had ever thought of. All ships scatter formation, Jake ordered. Do not fight like they expect. Fight like humans. The human fleet broke apart in all directions. Instead of staying in neat lines like most alien races, the human ships spread out like a pack of wolves. This confused the Kresh commanders who had never seen such tactics. Captain Amy White commanded the dreadnought Freedom's Call. Her ship was the biggest in the human fleet, but still smaller than the Kresh battlecruisers. The Kresh expected her to fight ship to ship in a straight battle. Instead, Amy did something completely different. Target their engines, not their armor, she told her weapons officer. We're not trying to punch through their shields. We're trying to stop them from moving. Amy's ship fired missiles that split apart into dozens of smaller rockets. The Kresh had never seen weapons like this. Their shields stopped the big missiles, but the small rockets went around the shields and hit the engine parts. 3 Kresh ships suddenly stopped moving. They were not destroyed, but they could not fly or turn. They became sitting targets for other human ships. Impossible, Vorthak roared. How did they get past our shields? Captain Lisa Carter commanded the destroyer New Horizon. Her ship was fast and small. The Kresh tried to hit her with their big guns, but Lisa made her ship dance through space, like a fighter plane. They're too slow to hit us, Lisa told her crew. Keep moving and hit them from behind. Lisa's ship flew around the Kresh battlecruisers like a mosquito around a giant. Every time the Kresh turned to shoot at her, she was already somewhere else. Her small weapons could not hurt the big Kresh ships, but she kept them busy while the heavy human ships moved into position. Commander Pete Johnson led a group of 6 cruisers against the center of the Kresh fleet. The Kresh expected him to attack, head-on like most alien races did. Instead, Pete split his ships into 3 groups. Group 1, attack from the left. Group 2, attack from the right. Group 3, come up from below, Pete ordered. The Kresh had never fought an enemy that attacked from 3 directions at once. Their commanders did not know which group to shoot at first. While they were confused, all 3 human groups hit them at the same time. 2 Kresh ships exploded in balls of fire. Vorthak could not believe what he was seeing. His mighty fleet was being beaten by smaller ships with weaker weapons. These humans fought in ways that made no sense. How are they doing this? He demanded. His science officer studied the human tactics on his computer. Sir, they do not fight like any other species we have encountered. They seem to adapt their strategy in real time. What does that mean? It means they change their plan based on what we do. Most species fight the same way every time. These humans fight differently against each ship. Colonel Mary Brown had brought 50,000 Marines to protect the farming team. Now she found herself leading the first human boarding action against alien ships. Marines, we're going to capture that damaged Kresh cruiser, Mary announced. Remember, we don't know much about their biology, but bullets work on everything. Marines flew across space in small assault ships. The Kresh had never seen boarding actions like this. Most alien races just shot at each other from far away. Humans actually boarded enemy ships and fought hand-to-hand. The Marines cut through the Kresh ship's hull with laser cutters. They poured inside wearing full combat armor. The Kresh warriors were 7 feet tall and very strong, but they had never fought humans before. Humans had evolved on a planet where everything tried to kill them. They were persistence hunters who never gave up. They were pack hunters who worked together perfectly. And they were the only species that had spent thousands of years fighting wars against their own kind. They fight like demons, one Kresh warrior screamed before a human Marine tackled him. The battle in space continued for 6 hours. The Kresh fleet was getting smaller and smaller. Their perfect battle lines were broken. Their mighty ships were being destroyed by an enemy they did not understand. Dr. Ben Taylor, the farmer who had started this whole thing, watched the battle from a safe distance. He still had his bag of seeds, but now he understood that sometimes you had to fight before you could plant anything. "Is this really happening?" he asked Captain Zara Kane, who had come aboard the human command ship. Zara looked at the battle, with her large blue eyes. "Your people are amazing," she said. "The Kresh have never been defeated before, never." "We didn't come here to fight," Ben said. "We came to help with farming." "Sometimes the best way to help is to stop the people who are destroying the farms," Zara replied. Admiral Jake Collins watched his fleet tear apart the Kresh formation. His ships were not individually stronger than the Kresh ships, but they fought. As a team, they adapted to each situation. They did things the Kresh had never seen before. "Sir, the Kresh are trying to retreat," his tactical officer reported. Jake smiled grimly. "Not today. Captain White, cut off their escape route. Commander Johnson, hit them from behind. Captain Carter, keep them busy from the sides." The human fleet moved like a living thing. Each ship knew exactly what the others were doing. This was not just superior technology or firepower. This was superior tactics learned from thousands of years of human warfare. Commander Vorthak realized his fleet was trapped. The humans had surrounded him completely. His mighty Empire fleet was being destroyed by farmers and scientists. "This is impossible," he said. "They are not warriors. They are supposed to be peaceful." His science officer looked at him sadly. "Sir, I think our database was wrong about humans." The last Kresh ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light. The battle was over. The most feared military force in the galaxy had been completely destroyed by humans who came to give farming advice. Jake Collins opened a channel to the surviving Galactic Council ships. "Captain Kane, this is Admiral Collins. The Kresh fleet has been eliminated. How can we help your people?" Zara's voice came back shaky with emotion. "Admiral, you have just done something impossible. The Kresh Empire has terrorized the galaxy for centuries. No one has ever defeated them in battle." "Well," Jake said, looking at Dr. Taylor, "we came here to help with farming. Looks like we had to clear out some pests first."